Section 2.4 Interactive Assignment Objective 1. The following newspaper type graphic illustrates the ideal family size total children based on a survey of adults from a certain country. We're going to complete parts A through C below. So I'm going to click on the view the graphic here. So here's the graphic. It says ideal family size. 53% 0 to 2, 35% 3 or more, 12% don't know. Okay, so the first question is what type of graphic is being displayed? So again, here's our graphic. Now let's go over the choices that they give us. It's either a pie chart, dot plot, or bar graph. Now a dot plot is drawn by placing each observation horizontally in increasing order and placing a dot above the observation each time it is observed. Well, we can see that this is not a dot plot. A bar graph is constructed by labeling each category of data on either the horizontal or vertical axis and a frequency or relative frequency of the category on the other axis. Rectangles of equal length, equal width are drawn for each category, and the height of each rectangle represents the category's frequency or relative frequency. So this looks like it's probably a bar graph. A pie chart is constructed by dividing a circle into sections. Each sector represents a category of data. So the area of each sector is proportional to the frequency of the category. So we're going to say that this result is bar graph. So therefore, it is a bar graph. Next, describe any problems with the graphic and then select all that apply. Okay, so when reading an illustrated bar graph, the reader needs to compare the vertical scales of each bar to see if they accurately depict the data. So I'm going to copy this and put this here so we can still see the picture. Okay, so it says a reader cannot tell whether the graph ends at the top of the nipple on the baby bottle or at the end of the milk. B, it is difficult to determine which option that the people who don't know of an ideal family size responded. C, the categories are not the same size, which misrepresents the data. There are far more possible responses that fall under 3 or more than those that fall under 0 to 2. Well, that's not the case because we have those percentages, and this data should have been displayed using a stem and leaf plot or an ogive instead of the current graphic. Looks like it's part A, where the reader cannot tell where the graph ends at the top. So we're going to choose that result. So it's a reader that cannot tell where the graph ends at the top of the nipple on the baby bottle or at the end of the milk. Okay. Next question, it says to construct a graphic that is not misleading and makes the data stand out. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through that. Now again, a dot plot is drawn by placing each observation horizontally in increasing order and placing a dot above the observation each time it is observed. If we look at D, it's not really giving us a good indication of what our graph should represent, so we're going to eliminate D. A bar graph is constructed by labeling each category of data on either the horizontal or vertical axis and the frequency or relative frequency of the category on the other axis. So it looks like we might want to go that route. A pie chart is constructed by dividing a circle into sections. So I would eliminate C. So it's either going to be A or B, but then we need to determine, okay, which one is this going to represent? Well, 0 to 2 is 54%. 3 or more, I believe, was at 35%, and 12% didn't know. So it looks like part A represents the right graphic. So we're going to choose A to be our graphic.